to make sure. So I was asked to give a testimony. And anytime I hear a testimony, I think I'm grateful to my biological father and his wife for bringing me, teaching me the ministry according to the Baptist ministry, because in the Episcopal church where I was raised, for me, it's about honor and glory. And in the Baptist ministry, I learned that I was sinning and I needed to get right with Jesus. So I had a balance of both. That's how I learned. And in my walk growing up in the Episcopal church, I learned, or I was figuring out what this person God was, and what the altar was about, and the person that was wearing white and who was all knowledgeable. And I was supposed to just figure it out, just suit up, show up, and things will happen. And as I got older, I got away from it a little bit, college, being in my 20s, married to somebody who really wasn't a big fan of going to church. And when I met my husband in my late 20s, he asked me, he figured that something was off about me. He didn't really understand what it was. And so he encouraged me to go back to my roots, to go back to what my values were, which was my faith in God. And boy, did I get an awakening. As Father Leland had said today, God's always been with me, but I sort of went this way. Because there were things that I did, there were things that I experienced, there were things that I couldn't take back. And I found myself very, very ashamed and living in shame. And what I've learned through my older years and stopping things that I knew were taking me farther away from God, that when I stopped doing those things, I started to realize that God said, I'm not the one that's been away from you. You're the one that's been away from me. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to love you and to teach you what you're supposed to be doing in this life through honoring my name. And I've been blessed with being able to work with people who, like me, as I refer to, I've been taught that shame is an emotional cancer. And anyone in here who's experienced a loved one or even yourself with cancer, it's no fun. And there's things that we're not supposed to do, like maybe sugar feeds it. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to stay in my scope here. But an emotional cancer for me was I continued to remind myself that I wasn't worthy of God's love. And so I had to look in the book where the healing that emotional cancer was giving things to God. Just as in the 23rd Psalm, verses 2 and 3 talks about, as I learned through the book of Traveling Light by Max Lucado, was that he teaches me, or he brings me to that pasture to lie down and has me calm, to stay calm so that he can fight the battles that are bigger than me. And let me tell you, emotional cancer, that thing called shame, is bigger than me. And the only one that can heal it for me is God. And so for me, I have to keep coming here. I have to keep reading the word. I have to keep understanding, doing things like coming in and doing Bible study when I'm petrified that I'm going to screw it up, but knowing that God has always been with me. And through the things or the mistakes that I've made, I've learned that if I'm so good at being there for others, what is it about me that doesn't let me be there for me? So God keeps telling me, hey, you got to be able to do that for yourself too. You've got to be able to do that for yourself. So if you're so good at being there, helping others and giving advice when asked to give advice, just sitting there and being present and practicing on your salvation, redemption, forgiveness, and most of all, grace. I have to do that for myself because I'm doing that for other people. And through doing it for other people, it's helped me learn how to love myself the way that God wants me. I know that I'll never quite get there, but I do know that I love the journey. I love that through these past few years where I've had significant loss. I have a daughter who's in the middle of a town where there's a lot of people that are afraid, and I have no choice but to give it to God. I have no choice. And she's safe. She's safe. And she doesn't call me after 3 days. I get a little nervous, but she reminded me yesterday that she was safe. As I was wrapping gifts, and I was thinking about her so much that the pile went from Sean and Michael and Jennifer. And I think that half of those gifts are really theirs too, but my mind was on her. So I end with this. I'm grateful to all of you for your patience with me, for teaching me how to be the best Christian that I can be through your service and through, again, your continued patience with me, my family. And I just love being a member of St. John's. I love being a Christian in the Episcopal faith, and I'm just so grateful to be here. That's all I have. Thank you.